Good morning. I'm Mike McCurrick. I'm the Juvenile Welfare Board's interim CEO. I have a timely and groundbreaking news to share with you today. Timely because the schools are letting out for their winter break. Groundbreaking because Parent ProTech's digital safety resources hold the power to protect generations of children and save countless lives. In a moment, you'll hear that this is a pivotal and transforming time, and the Sheriff Gultiera will tell us more about this and why it's so important. You also hear from School Superintendent Kevin Hendricks and Parent ProTech Chief Financial Officer Ashby Green. After a fulfilling career in business and technology and 12 years on the JWB board, I'm acutely aware of the real dangers kids face online. As a JWB interim CEO, my responsibilities are twofold: to spend your tax dollars wisely, while ensuring every child in our county is safe, well, and can grow to become whomever or whatever they want to be. As a father and a grandfather, I see it through a different lens. My daughter is a guidance counselor at the local middle school, so I know firsthand that technology has reshaped the lives of children. Devices are central to their learning and social activities, but it brings significant challenges. When JWB was created 80 years ago, stranger danger meant someone in a van offering candy to lure children away. Today, cyberbullying, human trafficking, and online predators can enter homes 24/7 through a child's phone, its computer, or gaming systems. Increased screen time is also an issue. Studies tell us that kids average 8 to 11 hours a day on their devices, and it's even more when schools break. This means today's families need access to the most current information and expert support, now more than ever. Starting today, JWB of Pinellas County is offering Pinellas County parents, grandparents, and other caregivers a free annual subscription to Parent ProTech, where they can find the latest tools to navigate through their children's technology and make them safe. Parent ProTech's vast online library includes videos and guides on topics like parental control, social media, AI, and more. Plus, their experts keep pace with the developing digital trends, alerting families to new and emerging dangers on their child's device. It's all part of JWB's Children's Mental Health Initiative aimed at protecting children and instilling a sense of well-being and belonging. Our history, on this very historic day, I should say, JWB stands shoulder to shoulder with our sheriff, local law enforcement, Pinellas County Superintendent of Schools, and a host of committed partners we've engaged to join us in this initiative. In addition, our U.S. Senators and our House of Representatives have vigorously voiced their support through videotaped messages and letters that we'll share with you after this event. On this historic day, we urge Pinellas County parents and grandparents and concerned adults to take 5 minutes and log on, create an account, and start with JWB/Parent ProTech website. Create a free online account and start accessing videos, how-to guides, conversation starters, and more. Your free annual subscription provided courtesy of the JWB Pinellas County, puts expert information, resources, and advanced information at your fingertips, and keeps children safe online. We also invite everyone, whether you have a kid, to help us spread the word. Join our efforts and safeguard children, support families, and strengthen our community. Online predators possess an imminent threat to our county's children. Empower your families today with expert protection from JWB and Parent ProTech. Sheriff Gualtieri will now share why this is an important game changer for law enforcement.
Thanks, Mike. Good morning, everybody. As we know, technology is a great thing. It's an indelible part of our community, of our culture, who we are. We're never going back, and we're going to continue to move forward. But it's really, really important that those who are the responsible caregivers, and whether it is parents, grandparents, foster parents, people, it doesn't matter, anybody that's responsible for kids, that they do their part, and that is to make sure that what these kids are doing with their devices and with the apps and all of the online environment, that they're doing it in a way that is not detrimental to the kid. These kids are vulnerable, especially the young kids, and a lot of them don't even know what they're getting into until they get into it, and then they find out that they're in deep trouble for a whole host of reasons. And it can be cyberbullying, or it could be that they're the victim of a child sexual predator and offender, and it could be a whole host of other things that we see every single day. The environment that we live in, unfortunately, is one that is full of vulnerabilities for these kids. Think about this for a second, is that just in Pinellas County alone, just in our county alone, one of 67 counties in Florida, we have 1,800 sexual predators and offenders that the Pinellas County Sheriff's Office monitors every day. That means there's 1,800 registered predators and offenders out here in the community that have done bad things in the past that we have to keep an eye on and that are out there. And unfortunately, these people do reoffend, and there are new offenses occurring every day in the online environment. And where this starts often is with people viewing child pornography. And once they view that child pornography, then it builds from there, and they begin reaching out and contacting kids and grooming kids, and then they have contact, and before you know it, we have a really, really bad situation. Just this year alone, just the Pinellas County Sheriff's Office, never mind all of these other law enforcement agencies that operate in Pinellas County and what they're doing as well. Just in the Pinellas County Sheriff's Office, we're on track this year to conduct over 100 child pornography investigations involving over 1,000 counts of child pornography where people have obtained, file shared, viewed all of this child porn. And when I'm talking about this child porn, the absolute majority of it, I'm not talking about, and it's bad, I'm not talking about 15 and 16-year-olds. I'm talking about people who are viewing child pornography of 5 and 6-year-olds, and some of the most grotesque things that you would ever hear of. So there's people out there that are using this environment to prey on the kids. And it is important that the caregivers, parents, grandparents, family members, that they do their part. Florida has done its part, and HB 3, House Bill 3 passed. The Florida legislature and Governor DeSantis signed it into law back in 2024. It took effect this year in January 2025. It was challenged in the courts, and most recently, in the last few weeks, the federal appellate court has upheld the law, and it prohibits kids who are under 14 from having their own accounts. It requires kids who are 15 and up to have parental permission to have their accounts. But are the parents who are giving those kids permission, are they really monitoring? Do they really know? And that's where something like Parent ProTech comes in, because parents need to be educated about this. Parents really don't know what they don't know about what's going on in this environment. So something like Parent ProTech is going to give the parents the tools to do their job, to help us help them and keep their kids out of these environments that we talk about, and what I'm talking about here with the predators and offenders and the child porn and all the online environment and all the solicitations and all the stuff that goes on, unfortunately, every day. And we see a lot of vulnerability among the kids. So I think Parent ProTech is a great opportunity for the caregivers to educate themselves and do the right thing and make the right decisions as far as their kids are concerned. So many thanks to JWB for funding this and for bringing Parent ProTech to Pinellas County and to help the parents and those caregivers help their kids. So we wholeheartedly support the use of Parent ProTech.
Good morning. I'm Pinellas County School Superintendent Kevin Hendrick, and to emphasize what Mike and the sheriff talked about, we need to see our parents and our caregivers with the resources and tools to help. So as you just heard, this initiative strengthens the community's commitment to safety and well-being of our children. It also aligns directly with House Bill 379, which required school districts to promote digital citizenship and support the priorities of JWB's Health and Human Services Board. While Pinellas County Schools provides a comprehensive digital responsibility curriculum to our children, we recognize that there are not a lot of resources for our parents, and that's where Parent ProTech steps in. We look forward to sharing these essential components, the knowledge and tools, to give parents the opportunity to help educate at home, just as we educate at school. Parent ProTech offers parents and caregivers clear, up-to-date information on the technology that children use each and every day, along with practical conversations to help start conversations with students designed to give families a safe, responsible, and healthy way to discuss technology. The partnership reinforces our own belief that education doesn't stop in school, but it continues everywhere. And as you heard Mike say, especially in times when school is out of session, like we're about to see here in a few weeks, where children will be on technology more frequently, but also parents have the opportunity to step up and educate in a different way. So our commitment, like other partners that you see here today, is full and complete. And we look forward to pushing out these resources to the parents that we serve and encourage everyone in the community to do so as well. And so to hear from Parent ProTech and some of those resources, we'll bring up Ash.
Good morning. Humbled to be in a room with a group like this. My name is Ashby Green. I'm here as both a C-level officer of Parent ProTech and maybe more importantly a parent to 2 school-aged children in Pinellas County. Parent ProTech offers actionable safety guidance, parental controls, and education aimed at real-world online behavior of children and teens. We emphasize safety, awareness, and proactive preventative measures and have a strong tech platform with creative geniuses that are constantly updating our content. The best part is that we make tech simple. Our site is filled with easy to digest content, how-to guides, and tips designed for adults who aren't tech experts. We hear all the time from parents and grandparents from all walks of life how approachable and consumable the content is. One of our strongest assets is the community of parents and caregivers who pose real-time questions and give real-world feedback. This allows us to be dynamic and responsive with our content that we update regularly based upon this feedback. A recent example has to do with AI companion risks. After receiving significant feedback from our partner organizations about students using AI chatbots as emotional companions and relationship substitutes, and the alarming rise in nationwide across the nation where these tools have encouraged self-harm and advised children to hide things from their parents, Parent ProTech has released new safety content for these families. This material is now live on our platform and equips parents with practical guidance to both understand the risks and support their children's needs in navigating this AI responsibly. In addition, and as trafficking continues to rise, as you hear it all throughout this presentation, Parent ProTech has partnered with A21 to develop powerful, age-appropriate anti-trafficking resources for both parents and children. This new content is now fully available on our platform and represents one of our major focuses for us as we work to help families navigate the deeply concerning issues with confidence and awareness. We're extremely thankful for the Juvenile Welfare Board team for this opportunity, and we're excited that once again, starting today, because of the relationship that's been developed with JWB, we're offering a free to everyone, caregivers, grandparents, concerned citizens, annual subscription to Parent ProTech. You can find this annual subscription on the QR code behind me, as well as the web link, which is app.parentprotech.com/JWB. You simply have to enter your name, email, and zip code. And if you do, although it is optional, provide other information such as your phone number or your child's age, we'll be able to customize and offer a better experience for you with additional data. But again, it is optional. You create your username, your password, and then you're off to starting to access the latest digital safety resources that we've made available. JWB has been a pleasure to work with, and hats off to their ability to convene such a great group of committed partners in such a short period of time. This really speaks to the community's trust and commitment to JWB's work and mission. So we'll now open up to questions.
it's really difficult for, parents to be, I know a lot of people in this room are parents, to be with their kids 24/7. Parents are on the phone with their friends, or, parents are at work. Could you give some examples of how, Parent ProTech might be able to help parents take that proactive approach even when they're not, not under the same roof with their child at that moment?
Let me just throw one out. Your child is playing on their gaming system. And the first question you might ask is, who are you playing with? And the answer is, my friend. Who's your friend? Do I know him? Just that simple question alone will help potentially get a predator away from your child.
That's a great example, yeah. Being just more involved and more educated about what they're up to. It's hard to keep up. The kids are more technical than the parents these days. So the best we can do is to try to keep up and be informed about their behavior.
But to stay on top of it, to really understand just what your child's doing. How many times have you seen a child sitting in a restaurant playing on a game because you want them to be satisfied and not, but you don't know who they're playing with. You don't know who they're talking to and how far it's gone. Because very simply, during those early sessions of playing on a game itself, they could be rerouted to another site and not know it until it's too late.
Let me just add, yeah, so, one of the things we see this all the time too is that the parents don't even know what the apps are and what the technology is that a lot of the parents think social media is Facebook. If you talk to the kids, they're going to tell you Facebook, that's what old people do. And so they don't even know, and a lot of it is digital files, it's photography, it's photos, it's all this, and a lot of it disappears right away. The parents don't even know that. They don't know how Snapchat works and all these other things that these kids are like this. They're sitting at a restaurant on it like they're talking about. So some of it is basic stuff, like who you're talking to and what are you doing, but the parents have no familiarity with the breadth, the scope of what's out there and what these kids have access to. They need to know what it is before they know how to best control it. And what we see all the time when we investigate these cases and talk to the parent, well, I had no idea. Well, this is what this is about. They need to have an idea and they need to educate themselves.
Going off that, Sheriff, you and your counterparts, I think, have all unfortunately held press conferences or done interviews talking about these disturbing cases that you've had to investigate. Going off of that, what is your message to parents? Why should they care? Why do they need to pay attention? And why are you encouraging them to?
Well, do you want your kid to be one of these stats? That's why you should care. Because they need to be responsible, and these kids don't know either. These kids are vulnerable. And these kids have no idea of what they're getting themselves into. And this digital world is the playground for these predators and for these people that are trying to do harm to these kids. And you may look at this AI nonsense where kids are talking online, and somebody that is supposedly, but it's not a somebody, it's AI, it's a bot, is telling this kid, oh, suicide's a great idea. Really? I mean, so this is the world that we live in today, and parents and caregivers, they need to be aware of all this. They're not.
Does ProTech have like a technological interface with anything that the kids are using, or is this solely an educational thing? And how can parents maybe be a little less intimidated by what they're asking them to do to keep an eye on the kids?
So we don't log in or do any of that. It is strictly educational, but it's also down to Wi-Fi around parental controls at every single level. It's just overwhelming to be in front of any of that. So we try to make it easily digestible for non-tech and tech people alike. We're trying to cover everyone and support the needs of communities. So Pinellas County is monitoring 1,000 sex offenders. The bigger concern is because it's digital, it's not a van in your neighborhood. It's 500,000 online predators at any given time. So it's much broader than that. So yeah, we try to provide as much education as we can and the most current things possible. Tech is allowing for new apps and products to be rolled out, and the kids are the ones that are learning it faster than anybody else.
Do you encourage the parents to maybe let their kids know that they're on this ProTech and that they're not really trying to snoop into their business as much as protect them through a third party?
We absolutely do. Yeah, certainly. We're going with the schools. We want it to not be snooping at all. We want the parents and the children to be working together on this. The kids need to be educated to what's out there as much as the parents.
But what it also does is allow the parent. Oh, sure. What it also does is it allows the parent to better understand what they can do to help protect their child. So how do I set up parent controls? How do I put firewalls and block areas to keep their kids out of those sensitive areas? So it's really giving the parent the tools they need to have to really go in and make sure their child is safe, and then they can have better conversations with their child about what the real issues that they're dealing with.
Yeah, but think about it, though. You know, do we care whether the kid thinks the parents are snooping? That's what parenting's all about. They should be snooping. Okay? That's what they need to do. You
Also
know?
driving kids into these, different apps that hide things from
Right.
them and create that chasm that.
Right, and maybe they drive them off the social media, and maybe they go out to the playground and do what kids should be doing, as opposed to spending 11 hours a day on their devices. So, being a parent and providing oversight and heavy oversight and sometimes saying no is what the parents need to do. And by educating themselves, and hopefully some of the light bulbs go off and people understand what is really out there. And again, this is just from experience in dealing with all these cases and then talking to parents and what you hear, I didn't know, I had no idea. Well, now you have an opportunity to educate yourself, to enlighten yourself, and maybe show some of that in parental responsibility and just say, no, get off the device, or seriously limit it. But snooping's good. Snoop all you want.
What is the fine line in terms of when parents should make a phone call to you guys about what is needed, and where should they kind of understand what is legal versus what is not for a child?
The first part of that was what?
So when do you guys get a phone call?
Yeah.
How far do you have to push the line, whether it's cyberbullying or cyber
Right.
Where does that line meet in terms of, hey, you have to call?
Well, if somebody has some concerns about it, they can call. Bullying, we deal with it in a number of aspects. I mean, sometimes, the schools deal with it all the time. And one of the things we do see, with that too, and some of it depends, we have a very, very robust now in Florida threat management process in the schools. We do it outside the schools as well. And a lot of the bullying, the cyberbullying, is that it leads to kids acting out, and because they don't know how to cope with it, and they then it leads to self-harm. It leads sometimes to grievances, which result in harm towards others and threats and those things. So sometimes it's criminal, sometimes it's not. We want to catch this stuff early. We want to prevent it. That's the whole goal, and that's the goal of this, is education and stopping it as soon as possible. If somebody has any concerns, about it, they should report it. Whether they report it to us, they report it to the schools, so we can take a look at it and figure out how best to deal with it.
As far as AI, is there a push to get regulation at a state level, and what are the challenges with that if we approach that?
I don't know. Go ahead.
Yeah, I can speak. I spoke to the Senate about this just last month, and the question they said, this is on the record, they said, is this like social media? Has it already passed us by and we can't even regulate it? And we said no, right? You should look at some regulations for all the reasons that we're talking about. So I think that our governor just had a press conference on this last week on AI, and that there do need to be guardrails, and how do we protect children? How do we protect the elderly who don't know the difference between some of these things? So I think we'll continue to see opportunities for that, but the best regulation as it relates to children is parents regulating their children. The sheriff talked about different ways to report. We have a very useful way for students to report any sort of misconduct. Between Friday night and Monday morning, we had over 50 different reports. Now, not all of them involve cyber things, but one of the best ways is for children to also educate their peers. And so I think you're going to continue to see guardrails around AI, and that's an important part of this, is understanding for parents what are those opportunities, not only from a harmful way, but just also from an education way. We need to educate without assuming that an AI chatbot can do all the things for us.
Ashton, following up on that, do you notice that there's a particular age range when it comes to AI and the chatbots that you're talking about previously for emotional supports? What are the dangers of that? Who's most vulnerable?
So we don't. We try to be careful with some of that data, right? We're hands off with too much PII information. We do track a little bit, the more that we do for certain groups, but we don't have age groups right now, no.
With all the PSAs that we're seeing and the announcements regarding all this, is there ever a point where the parents may become negligent in these cases or any of these types of cases?
Well, I assume you mean legally, right, from a legal perspective. Because, of course, if they're not paying any attention to this at all, they are negligent because they need to be on top of it. But It would probably be a tough situation for that to happen, to be honest with you. And we really don't even want to go there. Let's just get people to do the right thing. Let's get them to step up. Let's them to use a very valuable tool that they haven't had before, and use this as a kind of a wake-up moment. As has been said, we're going into a holiday break period. Kids are going to have a lot of time, sometimes idle time. They're going to be on their devices. This is a good opportunity for people to pause and familiarize themselves and not get in that situation where we have to worry about that.
But I think it's also important to understand, that's why JWB stepped up and purchased the access to this for Pinellas County parents, grandparents, caregivers of all types, to ensure that they have the access to this, to have this, without being worried about what's it going to cost me, without being worried about, by the way, it is bilingual, if I'm not mistaken as well. So it has the ability to be able to reach every parent, every caregiver out there. And specifically as well, I think the sheriff mentioned about grandparents. Lots of children are being protected and supported by their grandparents who have no clue. They'll barely be able to use their phone, let alone think about what's going on the computers. But being able to have this information put in front of them, being able to have enough teaching and enough very hands-on learning from it, they can protect their child. And they can help support to ensure that when our sheriffs and our police get involved in these are the worst cases and they get them off the street.
That's it. So, thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.